To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. Factor from the Able TV here for you. Inspire, educate, inform. That's what we do. Thanks for being part of this growing family. Let's keep shining together in unity.
Hello. You are welcome here. Thank you very much for always joining us. We have our Gen Zs here who are ready to talk to us about technology and communication. What makes their generation different from the older generation? Number one, they are digital natives. So they are the digital natives, and technology is part of their life, it's part of what they were born with. And so they know nothing different from what technology is. I was listening to Fina Chichi talking about digital age for the teenagers on the TIP conference 2025. And some of the things that were talked about were that technology, there's a need to connect with the teenagers. The old school parenting is a new school world. In a new school world, often creates conflict, confusion, and disconnection. And so there's so many things I believe we're going to learn from our Gen Zs, and they're going to throw more light on why maybe the older generation don't understand them. So you're welcome, viewers. Welcome to tonight's live discussion. I'll be your host and moderator for the topic technology and communication in the Gen Z era. Let's be honest, for many adults, especially those with a wide generational gap, the way young people communicate today can feel foreign. Why, all the texting instead of talking? Why voice notes over phone calls? And what exactly do all those emojis mean? But behind the scene, memes and hashtags is a generation that actually is deeply connected, highly expressive, and incredibly adaptive. So just in ways you may not always look that may not always look familiar to you. So tonight we're creating a space for real discussion and conversation and mutual understanding. We'll hear directly from our Gen Zs about how they use technology daily, what communication means to them, and how adults can actually better connect without judging. We listen, we don't judge. So whether you're a parent, a teacher, a leader, or simply someone wanting to understand young people better, you're in the right place. So let's bridge the gap. I will invite on the screen. I wouldn't need to show their faces, but you can hear them behind the scene. I would call on R, and there is also GTT. Will bear with our network connection. It's off and on. So once she arrives, I will bring her on. The very first question is to R. R, why do you prefer texting or voice notes over phone calls or face-to-face conversations?
Hello. So my answer to this question is mainly because I have more time to think about what to say, and sometimes it also depends on like the mood that you're feeling. So if you're responding to someone, they can't see your facial expressions or hear your tone of voice. So for example, you might be annoyed that day, and because you just want to respond to the person quickly, you send a cheerful message with like emojis and exclamation marks. But in reality, you're not feeling the way that you responded. So basically, you can just respond however you want, and you have more time to think about what to say. That's my answer.
All right. So talking about more time to respond, they prefer. So the Gen Zs prefer texting. That's why Snapchat is their friend. They don't like the phone calls like you see in the older generation. It's just about talking. Well, actually, it used to be writing letters. Then it got to where you have to call and just speak to someone, and then it's went down to just texting again rather than voice notes that adults prefer. Okay. And I'm sure there will be some people in your generation that will still love to talk rather than text. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't done any investigation on the statistics of how many youths actually prefer texting over voice notes. Is that the case with you, GTT? Do you prefer texting or voice notes, or phone calls, or face-to-face conversations?
Yes, ma. Actually, taking a voice note is way easier for teens, for Gen Zs. Imagine just like let's just take a case where a daughter or a child has offended his or her parent. Then being on a phone call at that particular time with a parent that is like hungry will be a very, very bad idea. So voice notes or text message
Mm,
can help reduce the anger in such a parent. The way the child will express his or herself can reduce the rate of the anger in a parent like that. So
mm.
just like my opponent has said, like just like co-speaker has said, voice note
Co-guest.
is way
Yes.
easier for Gen.
Mm. All right. So thank you very much. So
Please, ma,
Gen
can
Z's
you?
prefer.
I cannot hear clearly at my side here, so I don't know. Maybe my side.
Hello, can you hear me? Um, R, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can see my audio thing also, increasing. So I think it's from your side. Um, Maybe you want to come out
Okay.
and come back in if that would help. And so we can see that Gen Zs prefer texting or voice notes over phone calls or face to face because it gives them time to think, delete, refine before they actually. Because when you're on the phone call or you're on the face to face conversation, you might, that didn't go well. You want to retrace your steps, but you have actually said it. But with the text or voice note, you can, before you send, you listen to yourself again, like, that doesn't sound well. You delete it and want to say it again, re-record. So thank you very much. That makes sense. And the third question, I don't know if GTT is not here. Okay, she's here. So GTT, the third question is yours. It says, do you find it easier to express yourself online than in person? Why or why not?
Okay. I find it easier to express myself, what online than in person, based on the fact that when I'm alone doing a video, I believe no one is around seeing me. I can do anything silly. If I want to make the video like a lively one, I can behave that way or otherwise. But actually, that question, I didn't pick that question because I can actually go online, um, present physically because I'm a public speaker. So I feel I'm good at anyone. So that's why I didn't
Okay.
pick that question.
All right. How about you, R? What do you think?
So yeah, I find it easier to express myself online. But when I say easier, I would say it's more like 50-50, if that makes sense. So
Mm,
it's not like I wouldn't say I'm 100% introverted and I only go online to express myself. No. I
okay.
would say that is the more of an addition, I would say, because
Okay.
you can find people who are, I guess, like in real life. You might have a you might have something that you can't relate to anybody else, like physically, you know, amongst your friends. But then once you go online, there's like billions of people who, you know, say, oh yeah, I like that, you know, because of the amount of social media users. There's someone out there in the world, or a bunch of people in the world, that like the same thing as you. So that's why you're able to like connect with people in a way. And another example is something that you might get judged for or bullied for in reality. In when you, I mean reality, I mean amongst your friends or your classmates. Online, that thing will be praised, you know. So it's kind of something that it's, I would say yes, it's easier for me to express myself online, but I wouldn't say I solely depend on it, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Okay, so whichever environment you find yourself, you are ready to express yourself. Okay, thank you very much. And this question goes to GTT. What does it mean when someone leaves you on read? How important is quick response time to Gen Zs?
Thank you, Ma. So that question, when someone leaves you, like when you send a message to someone, person reads the message without responding, it's actually a very, very bad thing. At my To me, it's very, very bad. Even if the person cannot respond at that time, it's not a must for the person to respond at the time you send the message, but consistent ignorance to that message, or you consistently ignoring the person's message, can actually weigh the person down. The person can feel, I'm not valued enough, I'm not important to such a person. And for, let's say, maybe the person, for example, let's say I'm the one messaging someone, and the person, the way I take the person as a very, very special person, then the person ignoring me can actually cause the person's mental health. It can actually affect the person mentally. We have
Okay.
people that, yes, they are mentally not stable, and they feel when I interact, or maybe when they have someone to interact with, they feel better. Then we now ignoring people make them waste them down, make them feel I'm less privileged, I'm not important, I'm not.
Okay. The internet has just gone now. Um, okay. Thank you very much, GTT. So GTT's opinion is that when people leave others on read, it feels as if that person is not important. But the question I actually want to ask is, how long is too long? I mean, how long can people leave you on? Because for adults, if you're busy like with work, some people they don't even check their phones until maybe, if you send them anything over the weekend, they will not check until Monday. They have this no phones on weekend thing, and if you're waiting for them to answer, then it might look like, oh, they've left it for too long. So how long of leaving people on read is too long? Any welcome T? I'll call you by your initials. Welcome T. T or R? Which of you can answer that question? How long is too long to leave people on read?
Personally, I would say a week is a really long time.
Ah, okay. A week is a really long time. All right. Any other suggestion, T or GTT? Do you want to complete it? I was asking. I said, how long is too long? How long can people leave others on read and makes it annoying to them?
Actually, when you message someone in a day, that same day is actually the best thing to respond to someone at that same day. Even if, okay, for example, if I message you in the morning, fine, you may be a busy person that you go to work from morning to evening. You may not, if it's 30 minutes, let's to go. Mostly people message mostly on WhatsApp, Telegram, and Facebook. Can just use 30 minutes or thereabout to go through your messages. When you message some message his to the person that made you. So the best or the maximum time that you can use to respond to a message is within a day, within 24 hours.
Okay. All right. I'm hearing different opinions yet. Thank you very much. T, do you have any suggestion on how long is too long to leave people on read for them not to get offended? Okay, maybe you're trying to get. So I've heard two things now. Um, 1 week is very very long to according to R, and then 1 day and 24 hours is very long for someone else because people will usually message you when something is important to discuss. Okay, we are learning. We are learning. The other question we've gone through number three, number two, number three. Now number four question. I think it was GTT who is ready to answer this question. It says, why are emojis and memes and GIFs such a big part of how you communicate?
Okay. Yeah, emojis and stickers, a lot more. Tells more. Tells like tells more about what the person is trying to pass across. It tells I personally I prefer using stickers. Mostly I use stickers before I respond to a message. Because most of the stickers I have on my phone will tell you more of like what I'm about
Yeah.
to tell you, or the state. If I'm in a happy state, or maybe I just want to like make the
Yeah.
conversation lively. Yeah, stickers helps us to communicate better. It it tells more about what we are trying to communicate within
Yeah.
ourselves,
Yeah. Thank you.
and it makes communication easier. You don't when you drop a sticker that has said half of what you're about to say, then you don't need a lot. You don't need like stories to tell again. You just so that you not be that you left the person, you can just say one or two words, or just drop
Mhm.
a short voice note.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. And it also goes with this long adage that says, um, uh, a, a picture says 1,000 words. A picture says 1,000 words. So,
Yeah,
I
a speech in time is mine.
yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And one more question for you before the internet starts playing up again is: do you ever feel overwhelmed by being constantly connected? How do you handle it?
Is that okay
That's
for me,
number,
right?
yes, it's for you. Number eight question. Do
Okay,
you ever
ma. So
overwhelm?
actually, when you have people around you to interact with,
Mm,
you feel more happier, more healthy, and you feel like is a way in which you can express yourself more. But there are cases where you have unnecessary notifications. Yeah, you do come up. For me, I don't mute them, especially maybe when I'm in a time that I'm trying to think about my life, trying to stuff like that. I just most times I put them off. So it has limits, and it actually helps. It helps, it builds us physically, it helps, it brightens our day, it brightens the environment around us when we have people to interact with.
mm. Okay, thank you. So, because adults would think it seems these teenagers they just their fingers are glued to the phone. You never go off it. It never feels overwhelming. But from what you said, yes, there's this mental satisfaction from relating with others, but there's sometimes the notification can be overwhelming. So how do you handle it then? Did you say you switch off? How do you handle when it's overwhelming? How generally do teenagers handle overwhelming notifications and messages coming up on their screens? Yes. Oh, is she gone? Are you still there? Okay. Anybody else? Okay.
Yes,
So
ma.
yeah, I was asking, how do you handle too many messages coming up?
My the way I handle my messages.
No, what I mean is when too many messages or notifications start coming up on your phone, and you're like, oh, I've got to read for an exam, I've got to do this. How do you handle that? Do you just let the phone keep ringing and you ignore it, or do you turn off your phones, or do you just switch it off altogether or go offline? How do you handle overwhelming messages, constant notifications, pinging on your phone? um, because we're talking about mental well-being now. I'm sure it's not all the time. Even when you're asleep, you want to have some sleep and not be on the phone sometimes. How do you handle that? How do you um, not get overwhelmed with too many messages? Anyone wants to help out? How do you handle not getting overwhelmed with too many messages?
So me personally, I would so if there's like too many messages or something, I would just leave my phone in another room and then just walk away from it physically. So I wouldn't have to deal with like the noise or deal with looking at it. So yeah, that's
Okay.
that's what I do.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sure that there's some interference, but thank you. We are getting there. We're just 21 minutes. Hopefully, we'll finish in 9 minutes so that others can rewatch. Someone says trying to join. Okay. The number 10 question. Number 10. Okay, R, can you please help to answer this number 10 question that says, do you think social media helps or hurts real communication? Why? And why?
I would say start off with the negative anyway. It can definitely hurt real communication because as more and more people, are glued to their phones, and depend on it, then it will decrease the time that you spend with other people in the real world.
Mm,
So instead of going outside to quote unquote touch grass, you're playing a video game. Instead of going to someone's house, people prefer video calls, Like when I mean someone's house, I mean someone in your town that you
mm,
can, physically go to, but no, video call. So yeah, it can definitely hurt real communication. But I think it can also help because if you remember in 2020, during COVID time, online was very, very helpful. Social media was very helpful to everyone, lessons online, um, like things like AI were introduced as well to help people. So it is there's a balance. It can help people, it can help real communication, but it can also hurt real communication.
okay. So thank you very much. So it plays both roles. It can help and it can hurt. Um, Let me call T. T, this we're looking at number 10. What do you think? Social media helps or hurts real communication? And why? Does it help? Does it help?
Okay, okay, good evening. Can you hear
Good
me?
evening. I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I'm just joining the show. Social media for communication is both ways. It can help and it can also hurt. Helping in the sense that if you're trying to write out something to someone, maybe chatting someone, you can easily search for words that you're not really familiar with, and then you can like spell it the right way to those people. In terms of like forming your words and all of that stuff, articulating yourself, it can help you. And then in terms of also searching for more knowledge, in terms of arguing or like talking to people, you can always easily go online because nobody is checking behind your phone. You can easily communicate with people. I mean, I do it a lot, and I feel like I think other people do it too. In arguments, just to be sure of your point, you can easily search it online. That is one way it can help. But then in hurting someone, I also noticed that when you're trying to talk to people physically, it turns out that what you do online is so much different from like the physical sense, because online is so much easy compared to like physical communication. People are usually like shy or socially awkward, but then online they're like easy to communicate. So it's just a both way thing. Social media helps and it also hurts.
Hmm. So it kind of makes it look like a two-faced person. Sometimes people can be lively on social media, and then in the physical, they're just an opposite because you can't get words out of them. So yeah, it's two ways actually. So pick, asking people to pick what works for them. If it's hurting, take a step back, and if it's helping, utilize the advantage in it. Okay, thank you very much for those contributions. To our viewers, thank you very much for watching. If you have any question, please write in the comment down below. Have any question, if you have any contribution, any comment, please write in there. And remember to like and share this video with one of your Gen Zs, or even an adult who would like to know more about technology and communication in the Gen Z's understanding. All right, it takes us to the next one now, number 14. I think T and R, you've chosen number 14. So can you please tell us, how do online arguments or cancel culture affect the way you express your opinions? What is cancel culture in the first place? So over to you. Who's gonna go first? Let's say T.
Okay. Okay.
Of the
So
internet. The more I get those of you outside the UK to speak on time before the internet goes bonkers, um, the better. That's why I would like to call you first, and then if if yeah, when you finish, I'll call those in the UK. Thank you.
okay, okay, that's fine then. So you talked about how do online arguments and cancel culture, how they affect the way you express your opinion. So in my personal opinion, I'm guessing cancel culture is when you're like calling out the wrongdoing of an individual person, or like you're trying to cancel someone's opinion concerning something. Is that what it means? So if that's the case, I feel it's it's kind of relative in a way, because online arguments, usually when I'm arguing online, I try as much as possible not to call out anyone, because I feel whatever anyone does to me that will hurt me, I shouldn't do it back to them, even though it is wrong. Usually to myself, I don't call out anyone. I feel like if I want to communicate to the person, I can do that personally. And then if it's a situation of something that affects me, maybe I bought a product or something, and then the person didn't deliver it, or it was kind of a scam or something, and then it's dawns on me to call it out so that my peers would not fall into the same situation. I still probably won't call the person out. I would feel like I'm just too cool for that, or maybe it will be on that person's cross to carry, or to tell other people about it. So concerning my opinions, I'm always filtering it. So I just talk based on what I want to say that won't hurt people, and just let things be that way. So that's basically my own belief. I feel whatever will hurt me, I shouldn't try to hurt another person with it. That's just how I roll with my things.
Okay, thank you very much. That is doing to others as you would want them to do to you. So, like I said, I've put on the screen, cancel culture is a modern form of social ostracism, where when they ostracize someone, where individuals or groups publicly withdraw their support for someone or something, often due to perceived unacceptable behavior or statements. So, for example, somebody starts doing something wrong, you just see everyone unfollow, 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 follow the person, and all of that. So many ways of, and that could be I've seen, well, not seen, but heard people who have actually taken their lives after they've been unaccepted. Rejection is more like a rejection thing. So how, how do online arguments or cancel culture affect the way you express your opinion? So we've heard from T that he would filter whatever he has to say, what to say and how to say it. He filters them before he actually does. So what do you do? Because I'm sure some other Gen Zs are listening and thinking, I just say my own, I don't care, and all of that. But what would you expect people to do when it comes to our online arguments?
Yeah, so on with online arguments and like cancel culture, Personally, don't I don't really like to put my opinions out online because, if you have the same opinion as someone else, you can see that, let's say, in the comments, and you can see how that person is getting hated on or something, and you now want to add your own, you're just going to get the same thing. So I personally don't put my opinions out there, but with my friends and family, it gives us a topic to discuss, so I can freely speak with them. And, like, if they have a different opinion, that's okay, because, they're my friends, they're my family, so it's more understandable. But another reason why I don't really put my opinions out on there is because some viewers will support, you know, what you say, and some won't. So it's easier just to, I guess, watch from the distance, if that makes sense. And yes, you may agree, yes, you may disagree, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to, you don't have to add, I guess, like people say, add fuel to the fire. So yeah.
Thank you very much. So yeah, you're on the same page, and you know, people would definitely have their opinions, and some are very volatile when it comes to some opinions. They're very strong, opinionated, and they end up shooting themselves in the foot because there's something called the digital footprint. You may actually be in support of that opinion now, but in 10 years, your view may have changed, and you're going for an election to be the MP of somewhere, and they'll be like, this thing, she said this, he said that. It's because there's always a digital footprint of whatever you've ever done before. The first, anything you send online is there in the server, and people are not conscious of this, and it gets them into trouble most of the time and down the line. So, like, if I were a Gen Z, I think I'll take your opinion on that yes, filter what you say. You don't have to add fuel to the fire, and all of that. So thank you very much for this answers. I don't know if GTT has any addition to that. If not, we'll go ahead to the next questions. All right. We go to question 16, and that is for T. T, what frustrates you most about how older generations communicate? Let's hear. We listen, we don't judge. So, all in.
Okay. So this is one of my favorite questions because I actually sensed that the older generations have this generalization factor that the Gen Zs, all of them are kids and they don't have a lot to offer. Or when you're making decisions and everything, they're usually like, okay, you just stay out of it. We've got this covered. Or you need to manage something, or maybe be responsible for something, and then they're always looking at you like you're going to mess it up, and then you're going to always come back for help, or they're always feeling like they want to be the one to help you with that, or guide you in the most way possible rather than leaving you to do it. So things you probably hear is, I knew you wouldn't get this right, so I just decided to chip in. Or I knew you can't do this, so I decided you shouldn't do it this way, or stuff like that. And it's usually very what's the word, frustrating, and I don't like it. So I feel when they want to communicate with us, I understand that we are the younger generations, but they shouldn't look less of us, and they shouldn't think that the Gen Zs generally don't have much to offer or can do certain responsibilities on their own. That's what I feel about it. So communication should be based on like the same level rather than from top to bottom. That's
Yeah.
what I feel.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. And I'm sure there's so many out there who are also of that opinion. The older generation tend to want to babysit you all your life, and you're like, let me handle this myself. So I think, yeah, even when we were growing up too, I'm sure if we were at your age, um, it will be the same kind of express that same kind of opinion that I'm old enough to at least let me do it, and then prove you wrong and all that. So thank you very much for being sincere with us. Is there any other on this particular question? What frustrates you about how the older generation? Now we're talking, when we say the older generation, it doesn't have to be your parents or your family. It can be people outside. It could even be your teachers. It could even be your the older generation, you know what I mean. So when you're talking, I know you're talking out of the those who are not in the Gen Z circle. So GTT and R, do you have anything to add to that? What frustrates you? Because our talk today is about technology and communication, and we have adults who do not have a clue about how the digital natives like you live your life, and they're wondering how do I fit in, because we have lived a different generation in our old younger days, different way, and you're living it in a different way. So how to marry those two generations so that there's no continuous conflict and confusion? Any answer to that? How, I mean, what frustrates you most?
So um, the other speaker said a lot about that, but just I like to add, there is this saying that says, like a proverb that says, "What a child cannot see it, even when he or she climbs a tree." People believes they're always right in everything they do. They believe they got to the word first, so they know what is right and they know what is wrong. There are some cases where we need to reduce our belief or our belief for all these proverbs, because as the world is actually growing, things are changing and the system is actually improving. So just like my speaker said, they stop looking less of the Gen Zs. We are not totally wrong. We may not be totally right, but we are not totally wrong. They should try to listen to our own point of view, but not just to just criticize us totally.
Thank you. I like that. Well, you said you're not totally right, you're not totally wrong. So there's a need for communication like we're doing now. Thank you very much. R, do you have any other thing to say?
Yeah, I agree with what the other people have said, but maybe just to add, sometimes abbreviations that Gen Z hello? Hello, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I said go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so one thing I would like to add is sometimes when we have certain abbreviations or like phrases, I guess, and they don't understand, you have to explain to them. Sometimes it takes out the fun of what you're trying to say. But that's the only thing I have to add, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're correct. Sometimes you see law, you're like, what's law? Oh yeah, come and explain what law. You are supposed to laugh about it, and now it's supposed to. You're right. You're right. Also, okay, those are the frustrations. So yeah, thank you very much for your answers. The last and final question, which is by GTT: how can adults better connect with you without in your digital lifestyle?
Now, so from my point of view, the older generations should not just sit down criticize the young the Gen Zs because they believe you spend most of your daily hours of the day on the social media or on technology doing this or that. They should not just sit down or just stand and just criticize us, but they should observe. They should observe what we'll be doing. They should try to learn from us. They should try to even encourage after observing if the child is doing what is wrong or what is right, then you talk. If it's true, if it's a child that is doing what is wrong, or you believe this is not totally right, just have to improve. You can encourage. Just drop a word of of encouragement. When you see a young child trying to, okay, let me find my own path. I want to, yeah, I want to. There are some, like, let me use myself as an example. I believe it's not too young to start up to be great. It's not too young to start thinking about your future. So when you see a child that is trying to, yeah, do something like that, the child may be actually wrong. But if you say that the child is wrong, you don't just criticize the child. You can just correct, then encourage. You can shed light to the path of that child. and we can also learn from us. We have children that are the one educating their parents about the technology system, showing them the yes, this mom, this is what you do.
Oh, okay. She's gone. I guess the internet has decided to kick her out. All right, we'll wait for her to join in. But while she's trying to get find her way back, are there any other opinions about this? How can adults better connect with you, the Gen Zs, without judging your digital lifestyle?
Yeah, I would
Okay,
say, oh, sorry.
Okay, go on,
please go
R.
on. Please go on.
Okay. Yeah, I would just say simply just to be more open. And, the world is forever changing. So it's easier to understand what is in now and try to adapt your lifestyle because this world is now turning digital anyway. So I think to better understand, you should just adapt your life
Hmm.
to it.
Thank you very much. How about you, T?
Okay, yeah, so I just wanted to like chip this in. So concerning judging my digital lifestyle, I feel my parents are kind of what's the word? They're open to new things. I observe that, and they're usually not judging the fact that you're online. Okay, I'm not usually online too much, by the way. I'm usually doing other things. So I'm not really sure if they're probably proud of the fact that I'm not online too much, and that's why they're not judging about that. But so far, I feel like they're okay because whenever there's a trend and I tell them about it, they're usually open to want to join in. Maybe things on TikTok that is fascinating or stuff like that. They're usually open to want to join in. The digital thing now is different from how it used to be then. But then they are open to want to try these new things. So I feel like that should go for like everybody else. It's just part of communication. It's not okay to be conservative and just think that there's nothing good that can come out of like what is happening presently. It's the same way the old generation, maybe um
Millennial?
Gen X, yeah, the millennial generation and all of that stuff. I feel like the generations even before them found some things that they did, like a little bit, something that they don't approve of. So I feel like evolution will just keep happening. So this should
Yeah.
always be open to like new things.
Okay, thank you very much. So we've heard that the older generation should be open to new things, understand what is being done, observe according to GTT, be open according to R, and according to T, there's a need for interacting because I'm being aware that the world keeps evolving. So nothing remains. It says the only constant thing in life is change. Everything changes. Even before the older generation, there was an older generation, and of course, it keeps going on, and forever things will keep changing. And if we recognize that, we would act differently. So, in 1 minute, GTT, you're back. Is there anything you want to say to round up this session?
Okay, ma. So, just like I was saying, I believe, and just like the other speaker said, that most times when there's a trend outside, he tell his parents about it's actually okay. They join the trend. That's actually the way things are meant to be, not just to sit down and criticize a child. But you learn from the Gen Zs because actually the world has moved from them and is now we are now in the world of technology. Almost everything we do now is based on technology. You can do anything from the comfort of your room when you have the equipment to do it. Mostly when actually I do spend a lot of time online, not just like too much, but I know what I'm doing. I make wise use of the time. When my parents see me, when they see me online, they understand that yes, she's doing this or doing that. Most times, my parents do call me, "Ah, Gloria, I need your assistance in this. Can you do this? Can you help me to do this? Or do you know someone that can put me through this?" Because they know that yes, the world now is based. So our parents stop
Mm,
trying to criticize the Gen Zs and try to observe, help, encourage, and also learn from.
mm, mm. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you to three of you for your time. Thank you, T. Thank you, R. Thank you, GTT. Does anybody else have anything to say before I finally close it for today? So I'm grateful for you joining. I know it's your time. You spent like 45 minutes of your time here. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much for giving us your audience. Next week is going to be another topic. And for next week, it is, let me look at my list. Next week is actually on the 1st of August, is going to be faith and spirituality. Let's see what people would have to say about that. For Gen Zs, what does faith and spirituality mean to them? So thank you very much, the three of you, for joining in today. And you have been a blessing educating us about technology and communication. Have a good evening, and we'll speak to you later. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, viewers, you've heard it all from our Gen Zs. Wow, wow, wow. What an insightful conversation we've had tonight. A huge thank you to our Gen Z panel for sharing their truth and their habits and their hearts. You've helped us to actually see that behind the scenes or behind the screens are real people with deep values, creative minds, and a strong desire to be understood. To our adult viewers, thank you for showing up with your curiosity and willingness to listen. Thank you for also engaging them and observing and being open to technology. Technology may have changed the way we communicate, but the need for connection, empathy, and respect has stayed the same. Let's continue these conversations beyond tonight. Let's encourage our youths. Let's see what they're doing. Let's observe. Let's learn from them. And let's ask more and assume less. Commit to building bridges instead of walls. Let's build bridges instead of walls. So until next time, stay open, stay curious, and remember, communication isn't just about how we speak, but how well we listen. It is a two-way thing. Thank you very much for being here, and I'll say have a good night rest. From me, it is. And please, write in the comments, share the video, send to others, and stay tuned for the next one. Tomorrow we have another one. Actually, I forgot to tell you that. Tomorrow we have another talk, which is on women's health. This lady is super, super good because people who have listened to her like, oh my goodness, she brought a different dimension to it. And I'm itching to listen to her. I haven't listened to her before because I missed the session. So this is your time at 9 p.m. tomorrow. Please come and join us to listen to women's health. Share with someone. Someone might actually be blessed by it. Someone's lifestyle could actually change by it. Someone could learn something new. Create that impact in the lives of other people. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll say, have a good night. Bye-bye.
Have you subscribed and liked? Welcome to Dr. Bummy Able TV, where we inspire and inform you endlessly, with knowledge to guide, uplift, and grow. Thank you for joining, it's a journey, let's go. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. From wisdom to insight, each video's a gift, helping you rise, giving your spirit a lift. So hit that subscribe, stay tuned to see all the great things on Dr. Bummy Able TV. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game.